I brought it up with Greg Jennings. Tua, Miami Dolphins quarterback, having a very good season. He was in the MVP race. I don't think he ever was the leader, in part because Tyreek Hill.
Maybe after the 70 points that week. That was early.
That's a good point. Right.
That was the week, Chris, that he had to jump
did he have 6 touchdowns?
6 touchdowns, I think. It was big. That was the week.
That week he did. It was huge. He had four touchdowns.
Only 4?
Yeah, 309 yards, and they won 70-20. But yeah, at that point, that was just week 3, so he may have been the leader in the clubhouse at MVP at that point. But for the most part, he hasn't been the leader. He's been around the periphery. But he does lead the league in yards, 278 per game, 28 touchdowns, which is in the top 5 or top 6. I'm sorry. And he's only got, 12 interceptions, and he's completed basically 70% of his passes, 69.6, which is first in the league, Rob, among eligible players. And he's second to Brock Purdy. No, let's see, because some of these guys haven't played a lot. So he's third behind Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott for passer rating. So he's had a nice year. And Rob, he's in his 4th year. The club has already picked up the option for his 5th year at $23 million, Rob. So he's in for that. But obviously in the offseason, they have the option of just giving him the lucrative extension, which would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 years, $275 million or something like that. And my question to you, Rob, is if you were running the Dolphins, are you ready to write that check to Tua?
100% I am. And he checked a few boxes for me this year. Staying healthy, that was a big concern, and I think he answered that question this year. He's been able to play the entire year, Chris, and that wasn't for sure after last year with the concussions and all that. The team obviously got double-digit wins. They're going to the playoffs, have a shot, right, to win the division, which is when you think about Buffalo and where people had Buffalo and the Jets coming into the year, that would be a nice feather in his cap. The offense that they have rolling. And the other thing is 2 things. A, he's performed and played very well. B, he stayed healthy. And C, what is your option long term? And the price doesn't go down, it only goes up. So you got to, if you really believe you have an alternative and you've got somebody else you're going to go with, I say if he's your guy and you know that after this year, don't wait because it only costs you more money. The Cowboys hemmed and hawed, and they messed around and paid Dak Prescott way more than I think they even thought that they would have to because they waited. So I don't know what you would look at this year and say, no, let's put it off another year, or no, he didn't do this. No, I need to do that. Or I don't see anything that would be a red flag that I wouldn't do. I just think he's mature. 70. What is it, Chris? You said 70%. Is that where he is?
70%.
70%. Yeah, I mean, he's played really well this year. And sure, the team. Do they have more wins against better teams? Sure, that needs to come.
They're 1-4 against good teams.
But that big one, that big one against Dallas at that one, that was a big one because they needed that.
Dallas is horrible on the road,
and Dallas needed to win too. They're coming off 2 losses. That was a moment for them. And still, people thought Dallas. If I remember correct, Chris, even with that, people had Dallas as the favorite in that game. And Miami was able to win. But anyway, I'm signing up Tua. I've seen enough.
I haven't seen enough. I like I said, he had a good year. Obviously, that's without question. But I am not ready, if I'm running the Dolphins, to give him $55 million a year for the next 5 years. I still am not convinced that without arguably the best receiving core in the league, he'll be that guy. And so I'm not ready to pay him that. And to me, Rob, the best point you make is the price only goes up. And we've both said that many times on this show. And that's right. But if I'm running the Dolphins, I'm willing to take that risk that, okay, if next year he balls out and we re-sign him, it's going to be more expensive. All right, so I understand that going in, but I have not seen enough yet from Tua. First, and here's what I would do. If I'm the Dolphins, Rob, I don't say that to him. I say, you were great this year. We couldn't ask for more. But Tua, it's your fourth year in the league. This was the first year you stayed healthy. Obviously, you're telling it to his agent, but we want to see, if we're going to lock you up for the next 5 years, I got to feel better about you staying healthy. You did a great job this year. You learned how to fall and all that. But I still want to see it more time and time again. And so that's why I would say, look, we got you signed up. You're our quarterback next year, $23 million a year. And hopefully, you stay healthy and we keep rolling and improving. And then we'll take care of you after that, assuming he plays well and has this type of season or preferably better. Because here's the other thing, Rob. Tua 1-4, as I said, against winning teams. That's bad. And they got bludgeoned when they played good teams. We all saw Baltimore beat them by 37, but the Buffalo beat them by 28. Philadelphia beat them by a couple touchdowns. They played Kansas City tough, but Kansas City has trouble scoring, and they still lost that game, Miami. And here's the thing, Rob, for all this high-powered offensive talk that we hear. Oh, they lead the league in scoring. Oh, they put 70 on Denver. Rob, in those 5 games, when they play winning teams, they average 18 points a game. Tua's not lighting up good teams. He's lighting up the patsies. I told you, Denver 4 touchdowns. Carolina 3 touchdowns. New England 3 touchdowns. The Chargers 3 touchdowns. That's it. Nobody else did he throw more than 2 touchdowns against. So I need to see more before I lock him up if I'm running the Dolphins. But I would put it on the injury because you got to work with this guy. You like him. You do think he's good. I do think he might be our quarterback of the future, but because of the injuries in the past, it's delayed my ability to really know.
But even if on your thinking of that, he could be healthy next year, sign a contract, and then get hurt. I mean, there's no way.
Of course, Chris, but I haven't seen enough.
With the health, I'm just saying, there's always a chance you could get hurt in that thing. This year was important coming off of the concussions and all that last year. He was really woozy. People wonder if he could play at all or if this is going to be who he was. And I hear you. Of course you want to play better against some of the better competition. But if they win and beat Buffalo on a 12-5 and win the division, man, and you're telling a guy that you need to see more if they win that game, Chris, and win the division.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
I
1
think,
year being healthy. I mean, that's a big thing, Rob. 4th year, and it's the first time you've been healthy.
But I'm just saying, if he's okay, so you say delay it.
Of course, anything can happen. But I mean,
right. How do you work around that? Is what I'm asking you.
It what?
How do you work? Okay, so he's healthy for the second year, and then the third after he signs the contract, gets
But Rob,
hurt.
that's like saying don't get married because I might slip and fall and kill myself.
No,
the first week that we're married. I mean that doesn't make sense. Of course, anybody can get hurt. Saying that you want to see a pattern of a guy being healthy isn't something out of the ordinary.
No, but I'm saying
we all understand it's football. You can get hurt anytime, but he's been hurt 3 of his 4 years.
Right, but I could get it if you were saying coming off of last year with the concussions, I need to see you healthy for a full year. That's
But
what I'm saying.
I need to see you healthy for more than a full year if I'm going to give you $275 million.
Okay, and then he's healthy, and then if he gets hurt, then what?
That's right.
I don't understand how are you
I don't
gauging
understand
this?
your argument. So let's cancel the odd couple because next week one of us could get hurt and not be able to do the show.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you talking about?
But you're saying you got to see one more year. Okay, so he's healthy next year, and then you sign him. Then what?
Rob,
it's okay.
Here's my answer.
I'm asking you.
We've been doing the show for 6 years. If I missed for the first 6 years, I kept missing shows. And I only did about 9 months worth of the 12 months of the year. And they come to me and say, look, before we sign you up again, we got to see you, do a full year of shows. And then I do a full year of shows. And they say, we need to see it more consistently. Is the argument, well, you might get hurt and not be able to do it again. I mean, I don't get your art. I don't get your
No, what I'm trying to say,
anybody can get hurt. Lamar could have got hurt. Lamar had been hurt.
Right, but let me
Lamar
explain what I'm saying to you.
Tua.
Okay, so I'm asking you.
I'm using that as an excuse. I haven't seen enough on the football field.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
But part of it is the injury because that's why I haven't seen enough because you've been hurt too much.
I just think that in that situation, I understand if you didn't want to sign him coming off of injury or something. But once a guy's been healthy all year and bounced back the way he did this year, and all is going to your one more look-see might cost you another $10 million a year. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be certain. I'd rather have peace of mind. I sign him now. I'm questioning it. And again, I'd like to see you perform better against the better teams too. I mean, there's a lot of ifs there. And so I would want to see more for sure.
Yeah, if you don't have an alternative or where you're going to go, I
got him. I'm going to him next year.
You got to.
He's my quarterback next year. That's already set.
I get that, but I'm just saying you got to be careful not satisfy a guy who's performed and put out for you. If you win the division
for 1 year.
Nobody thought you were going to win the division this year.
Rob, the division ain't that tough.
No, but I'm saying
New England's a mess. New York is even worse. Aaron Rodgers
but they
was hurt.
weren't I'm talking about going into the year.
But once Aaron Rodgers got hurt, it was done with the Jets.
Yeah, but
Buffalo ain't that good. Buffalo's up and down.
They still won 12 games. I think it would take 12-5 coming into the year.
It's 1 year of 12 games. I got to see more. They won it. They can't beat the good teams. They can't even stay in the game with most of the good teams. Tua, you locking him up with a huge contract this offseason, or do you want to see more, like one more year of health and top-notch play? Your thoughts, 877-99 on Fox.
All right, Julio in Lancaster, California. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Julio?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Now I see it. Now I really get why they call you guys the Odd Couple.
Yes.
Why you guys
just now?
Be always the half glass empty. It's
Who,
always
me?
looking at the negative. but I mean, it could go either way. All right, let's look at the Danny Jones situation. Last year he had his good year, right? And what?
That's a good point.
He's way better than Daniel Jones. I'm sorry.
I understand.
That was ludicrous.
No, I mean, but that's a good point. Jones had a good year. He didn't have Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and all that either.
He didn't have no good year because he threw for over 300 yards one time. He had a mediocre, had 19 touchdowns in 17 games. That was not worth what they did.
Led him to the playoff. I agree with that, but I'm just saying.
Look what happened. Okay.
1 year.
Chris, to your point, yes, you're right. I would give him another year, right? But at the same time, I'll give him a better offensive line because now the reason he got hurt was what? Concussions, because he was taking hits. And the only way you take hits is someone's not blocking for you correctly. So, yes, I'm going to give you a better offensive line. Yet, I need to see more. You still have Tyreek, and then we'll talk.
All right.
That's
all right,
my point.
Julio. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Felicia. In Michigan, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Felicia?
Hey, y'all. You know what? When I think of Tua, I think of can he stay healthy? I don't think so. You know, I remember him at Alabama, how he couldn't stay healthy a little bit. his concussion is a big concern to me. When I think of him, I think of concussion. I actually think of Junior Seau when I think of him, and it's scary to think that far in the future. Because the thing about it is, I think about that Cincinnati game, and after that, he was unconscious. And then when you look up Tua, one of the things that come up is CTE. When you type in his name, CTE.
So this year,
yeah, but
Felicia,
that doesn't mean,
Felicia.
I mean,
So this year means nothing to you.
This year, no, because at the end of the day, no. I think they should negotiate between a lower to medium bracket, not medium and high. I think.
No, it does, but that doesn't
so
work.
like
That's
$40 million a year.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, if he would agree to $40 million a year, I think
That
I'd
ain't
go
gonna
long term.
work.
But
You know that ain't working. I hear you, but you ain't gonna change the
he
salary
shouldn't
structure.
do that. He should.
That ain't gonna happen. Brian in Atlanta, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, you remember Kirk Cousins of Washington? He get franchised 3 years in a row and became a multimillionaire. So I franchised.
And he got a $75 million fully guaranteed contract.
He's not a free agent.
You go, listen, can you do this or not? And then if he gets
he's not a free agent. So you pay next year. Hold on, you're gonna get your chance. Next year he pays for $23 million, and then if you want, you can franchise him after that. But that's not an issue for next year.
Well, either way, if he gets a concussion, you're done. Okay, listen. If he breaks his arm will heal. If he gets one more concussion, the whole NFL is going to go crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about to some degree. I want to see it for another year, and he's been great this year, health wise and performance. But he hadn't shown. I haven't seen enough. Not me.
I've seen more than enough. Peter in Honolulu, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Peter?
What's up, guys? Now, I don't know if you've ever had a concussion. I had a hospitalized 3-day concussion.
Oh, God.
And I fell off the scaffold head first backwards in the concrete.
Oh.
Okay? Out cold.
Peter, how did you survive that? My God.
My feet were about 5.5 feet in the air. Okay? First thing to hit the ground was the back of my head.
Oh.
I spent 2 days in the hospital, nauseous. They were like, "Oh, you can go home." They took me out of the halo and said, "Nope, no broken neck, you can go home." I sat up. I was nauseous. Immediately nauseous. I said, "I'm not going nowhere." And I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. I didn't twitch on the ground the way Tua was twitching on the ground with a concussion. And I was out of work. I'm a construction worker. I was 6 weeks out of work.
Are you saying yours wasn't as serious as his?
Well, I wasn't twitching on the ground. And I was out cold. I mean, they woke me up. Out cold. I had a 20-minute ambulance ride on Long Island that no recollection whatsoever of the ambulance ride. Now, Chris, you are right, because he had his one good year. And how much are we talking guarantee? We're going to guarantee all 275?
Right. Well, no, I mean, he wouldn't. He probably doesn't get fully. But bottom line, we're talking huge money. 250 some odd million. 250.
Look at what happened with Arizona. They guaranteed 240 for somebody on what? A 1 year who had a 1 year deal with one good year, and they gave him 240 guaranteed. And how's that working out for
He didn't get
Arizona?
that much, but yeah, he got 165 guaranteed or something.
And
like
the
that.
Cowboys waited on Dak Prescott, and we waited. They waited, and they still paid.
But you can look at it the other way. Carson Wentz paid him too early.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray
but
paid him too early.
But Dak, they made him wait. They made him wait.
Well, that's one right. You can look at it both ways. That's one example. And then there's the other side if you pay a guy too soon, and without being sure. And we've seen that happen. So